Well, it looks like our boy Chris Nolan made another bad movie. God damn, this movie is bad, bro. Jesus Christ. There are a lot of problems with this movie, but for right now, I want to focus on the Cyclops scene. What? But for right now, I want to focus on the Cyclops scene. That entire sequence might be just the worst part of this movie or any movie I've seen this fucking year, bro. It's really fucking crazy. The whole plot of this movie kicks off simply because Christopher Nolan character assassinates Odysseus in the first act of the movie. He's characterized to be one way and then does the complete opposite the next. This great OdASSey that he goes on only happens because he decides to go on several side quests instead of just following Agamemnon. Wait, is that his name? Yeah, Agamemnon. That's a crazy name. This whole journey goes on because he just decides to go on a side quest instead of following Agamemnon to the designated trade routes that are going to lead them exactly just straight direct back home where they can get food and get home in time to kiss their wives or whatever the fuck. He just goes on a side quest for no reason. My bad. I know the reason. Christopher Nolan gave him an ego he didn't have in the first act. He has been characterized as a person who cares about his family. He wants to come back home as quickly as possible and he cares about the lives and the families of his men, his soldiers. That's his character. He doesn't have an ego. He's an honorable man. But from nowhere, he's like, oh, I'm tired of following Agamemnon. I'm going to go forge my own path. I'll go on several side quests and we'll get there even quicker than him. And that's why the whole movie happens. Character assassination off rip. So obviously, because bro doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, he strands his men on several islands and he goes from one place to the next looking for food for his men. And on one of these journeys that they go to get food, they follow a flock of sheep into a cave, and then wouldn't you know, there's a Cyclops there. And this entire Cyclops scene doesn't make any sense because at first they get in there, they get trapped because Cyclops comes in and he closes the door. The rock that is there to keep the sunlight out, the Cyclops closes the door and now they're all trapped. Cool. They wait over the night for the Cyclops to just sleep and wake up. Then when he wakes up, they're like, oh, when the sheep are going, we'll follow the sheep. But for some reason, the Cyclops now closes the door when he leaves, even though we know that the Cyclops leaves the door open whenever he goes out, because that's how the men were able to come in the first place. The Cyclops left the door open, the men came in. But now that the men are inside, Christopher Nolan has just contrived a situation where for some reason the Cyclops is closing the door even though he's not inside and there's nothing there for him to protect. Alright, anyway, in the morning when the Cyclops is opening the door for his herd to go out, instead of Instead of Odysseus and his men to just relax and wait until the sheep and the Cyclops leave, the door will be left open because they know for a fact that the Cyclops leaves the door open, and when everybody has left, they can just leave quietly. No! They decide to foolishly charge the door while the Cyclops is standing right there. They thought they could blend in with the sheep and the Cyclops wouldn't see them. Why? For what reason? And maybe some people would say, oh, them trying to leave is what caused the Cyclops to change his mind and lock the door this particular time. That's not a defense, you're just buttressing my point. Them trying to leave immediately instead of waiting for the Cyclops to leave, which now causes the Cyclops to lock them inside, is even more proof of them being dumb. They should have waited. Now they've doomed themselves even more for no reason. So they come up with another dumb plan to escape while the Cyclops is away. In their minds, they are going to send 4 men to bomb rush the door and blend in with the sheep to get a rope and hold it stretched out so that the Cyclops can tip over, fall, die, and then they can escape, which doesn't make any sense because they already tried that. They tried to blend in with the sheep. They know for a fact that the Cyclops will see them through the sheep, but for some reason that's their plan. Okay, cool. So they are sending 4 men, right? 2 are going to be cannon fodder because he's clearly going to see them and he can eat 2 of them while the other 2 go to initiate the plan. 2 are not going to be enough to hold this fucking Cyclops. In the movie, the Cyclops just kicks one of them very easily. 2 men are not going to be strong enough to hold up a rope to tip the Cyclops over. You need to send at least 6. How do you have dumb problems within your already dumb fucking plan, bro? Send 6 men, not 4. 2 as cannon fodder and then 4 can be the ones who drag the rope and tip him over. A better version of this plan would just be to have your men already be at the entrance. Just have them wait there. The rope is laid on the floor. 2 men on one side, 2 men on the other side. Once the sheep pass through and the Cyclops is coming through, they drag the rope. There's enough tension, he falls and that's it. Not all this running through the herd shit where he can see them. In the movie, they literally run through the herd. He kicks one of them and kills both of them. Why didn't you just have your men wait at the entrance? What's this running through the herd shit that you already tried before and you're doing again for some reason? Then when that plan doesn't work, they just decide to blind the Cyclops, which is dumb because how are you going to get the door open? The only reason they escape is because they get lucky and the Cyclops is able and willing to open the door for their sheep, for its sheep. I don't know the Cyclops pronouns. There is no reason. They had literally no reason to believe that was going to happen. If the Cyclops decided to just give up on life because it is now fucking blind and cannot see, they're fucked. If the Cyclops decides to just get angry and start eating everything in sight, including them, they're fucked! If the Cyclops decides to get angry and start bashing the walls, collapsing the cave and everything in it because it is upset because he just got blinded, they're fucked! They had no idea this was going to work! This is literally the definition of a plot contrivance. They got lucky! That's it! Then for some reason, even though they had just escaped and everybody was free and we're all good, out of danger, we're going to go home now, this bloody fucking dumbass Odysseus sees that the Cyclops spits up a fucking helmet from one of his men that he had already eaten, and he gets upset and spiteful and egotistical, and he attacks the fucking Cyclops with an arrow, which causes the Cyclops to start chasing them. Why? He was never characterized as an egomaniac. He was characterized as an honorable man who cares about his family and his men. In spite of not being characterized as an egomaniac, bro, are you dumb? You just escaped a monster. Why are you agitating the monster that you just fucking escaped, bro? You couldn't defeat the monster. Why are you agitating the monster that you just escaped who you could not defeat? What? Where is the man that we saw at the beginning of the movie who would warn his prey before he hunts them? Now he's taking spiteful cheap shots at disabled, unarmed creatures? Okay. Oh, I love the smell of some character assassination early in the morning, bro. Great. Now your men are running for their lives for no reason and 2 more of them get killed. Why? Because you had to shoot the Cyclops in the eye with an arrow because Christopher Nolan decided to give you an ego that you didn't have in the first act of the movie. Great. Also, leaving the dead black guy soldier who died trying to execute your dumbass plan is out of character, because what happened to the guy that was like, oh, he was sensitive to a father's shame. He felt for these fathers. What happened to that guy? Another dumb scene in this movie is the flashback to the actual Trojan War, and the Trojans are bringing in the fucking horse into the palace castle thing, and then in the myth, nobody checks the horse. The horse is just brought in, they are celebrated, cool. But in this one, Christopher Nolan decided to have one guy slide one sword just 3 times into one isolated section of the horse to check if there was anybody there. Why not have multiple soldiers surrounding the horse, checking different angles all at the same time? So if there were soldiers hiding in the horse, all of them were hiding in just that one spot. Nobody else thought to check all the other angles. Now you just inserted a plot hole into this myth for no reason, because logically, once they figure out that all these men are hidden here because they would all clearly and logically check at the same time properly, the war is done. The Greeks lose and Troy is not taken over. Also, once the men inside saw that the fucking soldier was sticking swords in there, why didn't they all just bend their heads? Why do I So you see a soldier sliding swords into the fucking horse and your head is still up. You're not all bending down and ducking at the same time. No? Okay. I also don't understand how Odysseus got home. So he just laid on a raft and then Poseidon guided him home for some fucking reason, even though we established that the Cyclops that Odysseus angered and blinded was the son of Poseidon, or child of Poseidon. Let's not misgender, bro. Or even though we established that the Cyclops was the child of Poseidon, and now Poseidon is against you guys and he was rocking the boats, and that's why you guys had to go and get supplies other places off the water. Now Poseidon is just helping you even though he was against you. Okay, this just leads us directly into the entire last third act of the movie, because the entire thing makes no fucking sense. It's just a sequence of just dumb events to dumb events to dumb events to useless event that doesn't make any sense. It's all just bullshit. In the movie, Odysseus' son goes to get news about Odysseus, and then on his way back, the suitors that are waiting at the temple or the castle or the house or room or whatever the fuck that have been trying to marry his mom because Odysseus is in back, they scheme to kill him because he's the heir and he knows about this, and he stops at a place where they could easily get to him and he doesn't have any guards. His guards are not up. He just goes in without anybody that he trusts people that he doesn't fucking know, drinks from cups that he didn't fucking inspect. This is dumb. Why are we doing this? If you know that the suitors are coming after you and they're trying to ambush you, why would you trust anybody? Why would you walk into a secondary location, an exclusive room, unarmed with no men? Why would you drink from cups that you have not inspected yourself? You know that men are trying to kill you. Then you go to a place where a stranger tells you can't carry your weapons, you can't carry your men, you can't have your guards, you can't even have your armor. Also, drink from this cup filled with mysterious liquid. And you just do whatever he says? No questions asked. All his men get killed and poisoned. Wow. Hold the phones, hold the horses. Luckily for him, his dad is there just in time to save his son. How long did it take him to get there? Isn't it quite coincidental and fortunate for him that his dad just so happened to be there right at the exact right moment when he lands to help him? And it's also just not a coincidence that he got back to Ithaca right at the exact moment when he could have gotten the information that his son was going to be assassinated so that he can get there conveniently in time as well? No? Okay, so now it's just Odysseus, his son, and a group of 10 men because his guards are outside and they all get defeated by an old man and a boy. A group of 10 men, 10 young men get defeated by an old man and a boy. They didn't think to rush him with their swords. They didn't think to attack him all at once. They just kept on attacking him one by one and he was defeating them. That makes sense to you, Christopher Nolan? That's a logical thing for this man to have done. Okay, so the guards that he left outside because, we're trusting strangers that we don't know, even though we know that assassins are coming to kill you, they get murdered by the other assassins, which is strange because everybody knows that you're about to get assassinated, but for some reason, they left their guard down and they just got assassinated. Cool, we know people are coming to assassinate us, we're not going to prepare, we're not going to be on watch, and then we allow them to assassinate us. Great character writing, Christopher Nolan. Just, chef's fucking kiss, bro. God damn. Also, the enemy team that attacked the guards that Odysseus' son left outside for some reason, they were there, they were waiting by the door. Why didn't they come in as reinforcements once they heard the noise, once they heard the fighting? I mean, one would think that once they heard the sound of one old man and one young boy murdering several grown men, they'd walk in and try and do something. So why didn't they do anything? Why they just stood there? Okay, so Odysseus goes back home, right? And his big plan is to trap himself in a room filled with all the suitors so that he can fight each of them one by one and defeat them. How in God's holy fucking name did dozens of young men who had weapons, by the way, because for some reason some guy at the top of the weapons room was breaking through the easily breakable floor without collapsing through the floor. He made a hole just wide enough for him to be throwing weapons down there, but the hole wasn't weak enough for the entire floor to just start collapsing under him. No, even though the people, him and Tom Holland were fighting throughout, but the floor didn't fucking collapse. No, okay, cool, great. I mean, it's just basic science. Obviously, the floor was weak enough for one man to make a hole in it, but the floor wasn't weak enough for two grown men fighting on top of it vigorously to cause the structure to collapse, even though there's already a hole in it which has already destabilized the structural integrity of the floor. But the floor is, it's Schrodinger's floor. It's as weak as it needs to be for the plot, but as strong as it needs to be for the plot as well, because Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing. Yes, makes perfect. Chefs, yes, chef, yeah, kisses, sex. They all had weapons, dozens of young men fighting this one old man, and he defeated most of them. They didn't all just bomb rush him. They didn't all just get a sword and just stick it in his chest all at the same time. No, one old man with a bow and arrow defeated all these men. They didn't. Eventually, they all regain their senses and remember that, we are young men, we outnumber him fucking 100-1, and we can just corner him. So they do just that. But luckily for Odysseus, they all corner him in the exact right spot, in the exact right corner, just above the hole, which has not caused the fucking floor to collapse, where Odysseus' son can give him a sword. If they had cornered him at literally any other spot, he'd be dead. But, luckily for him, the suitors all read the script and decided to put him in the one place where he would get an advantage. So that's nice, that's lucky, that's cool, that's great. And as if that wasn't crazy enough, for some reason, once he gets the sword, they all just start randomly and arbitrarily surrendering. Because why? I don't why? Just for no reason, they just start bowing down before him and they all refuse to fight. Now, at this particular juncture, when you had the upper hand, you cornered him, he got one sword, he's our king actually, let's not fight him anymore. Fuck this movie, bro. Fuck the entirety of this fucking movie. Jesus fucking Christ. Subscribe to my Patreon and, give me money. Give me all your money actually. It's It's Zeus's law. It's Zeus's law that you gotta give me all your fucking money on Patreon. Click the link, it's in my description. You better fucking obey Zeus's law. Alright, bye. I still don't understand why they couldn't just have the guards kick all the suitors away. You're the queen. This is the king's castle or palace or whatever. Get the guards and kick them away. Who the fuck gives the fuck about Zeus's law? They are impeding, they are bastardizing and taking advantage of Zeus's law. That's your incentive. That's your justification. Send them away. They've been here for 3 years. What the fuck are you doing?